Hello, my name is Laurel Beaton, and this is my course redesign project. The Alberta Distance Learning Centre and the Centre for Distance Education at Athabasca University have begun to redesign their traditional delivery of both teacher professional learning at ADLC and graduate level courses at Athabasca University. In a partnership that pairs a professor from the Athabasca University with a practicing teacher researcher in K-12 online and blended learning from the Alberta Distance Learning Centre, a process of co-creating and co-delivering a new model for professional learning in online and blended learning is being prototyped. The goal is to offer a series of micro courses that will provide professional development in the theory and practice of online and blended learning. This redesigned model is meant to better fit the needs of the learners in the learning community. The rationale behind the BOLT course redesign project tries to get at the heart of why are we doing what we're doing, how are we doing it, and what are we doing. In online and distance education, we often clearly understand how we deliver programs. We often understand what we're delivering, but sometimes we need to take a step back and examine why we are delivering programs in the way in which we are. As ubiquitous access to technology increases in K-12 classrooms, a shift in the way in which learning is designed and delivered is beginning to materialize. In K-12 education, technology-enhanced learning, whether it is a version of blended or fully online, is growing and developing. In 2012, more than 10% of Alberta's K-12 students took some form of distance education, according to the research of Michael Barber in 2013. This trend is likely to increase due to pressures from reduced budgets, changes in educational policy, and increased access to technology. As teachers in K-12 classrooms begin to shift their practice towards technology-enhanced learning in its variety of models and classifications, a need for a deep understanding of pedagogy, theory, and practice has emerged. Because online and blended learning is complex and continues to evolve, a need for professional development for in-service teachers within the K-12 teaching system has materialized. The goal of this project is to offer professional learning opportunities that can ladder into a master's level program at Athabasca University. The idea is to provide teachers with micro courses or chunks of courses that they need just in time for their professional learning needs. This idea has grown out of the trend towards massive open online courses and learners who are willing to take on learning pathways rather than learning credentials in their approaches to professional learning. We see this disruptive technology in massive open online courses showing us that people, especially adults in adult learning theory, are motivated and willing to learn when they see there is a relevancy and there's a direct correlation to their professional lives. It is becoming clear that adults are less likely to be as motivated by credentials as they are to a pathway towards having access and opportunity to learn the things that they need just in time. Even MIT has questioned whether traditional courses and programs are outdated and are considering offering modules instead. And this is the rationale that we've decided to undertake this prototype and this pilot of breaking apart some traditional master's level courses and teaching them in a modularized, smaller micro course format that offers a much more flexible approach to learning. The theoretical framework of this course redesign relies heavily on the community of inquiry model. The community of inquiry model shows the most promise for offering insight into supporting learners who are online, at a distance, or in blended learning environments. The community of inquiry model offers the opportunity to create social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence in an online or blended learning environment. The goal is to create dynamic and vital communities of inquiry, according to Garrison and Vaughan, where students take responsibility and construct meaning together. The overall approach to the BOLT courses will not only have the learners explore and examine the community of inquiry model, but to fully experience it as learners themselves so that they can see for themselves the impact of social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence on themselves as learners, and they can identify strategies and techniques as well as the tools that are appropriate to create a community of inquiry with their learners. The other theoretical framework that we'll be working from is the course redesign model of the enriched virtual model presented by Horn and Staker. Because this was traditionally a fully online course offered by Athabasca University, and we are attempting to teach aspects of both online and blended learning, we will take the enriched virtual model, which will have the students do the majority of their instruction and interaction online, but provide opportunities to come together face to face, possibly at the beginning and end of a course, or as needed by the learners. The intent is, as these courses will be offered to K-12 educators, there may be opportunity that arises where K-12 educators can come together physically, face to support each other in their learning. Although the majority of the coursework can happen remotely, it will happen in both an asynchronous and synchronous manner, and these courses will be taught in a cohort that will move together through content and through opportunity to interact with one another. The majority of the learning will take place in a learning management system that will allow for discussion boards and content to be media rich, but there will also be opportunity for students to come together synchronously through web conferencing tools. Program description. This redesigned model will attempt to create professional learning that is more substantive than a one-day seminar or workshop, but less demanding than graduate-level program commitments. Through the use of both asynchronous tools, such as a learning management system, and synchronous tools, such as web conferencing, the redesigned courses will bring a blended approach to traditional professional learning and graduate studies. These courses are designed to teach both the theory of online and blended learning through the practice of engaging in the experience of that model, as well as embedding research to inform practice. Through this learning experience, K-12 practitioners will develop a deeper understanding of the opportunities and challenges of applying technology-enhanced learning for K-12 students. Courses have been divided into 4-week offerings that bundle together to create a post-baccalaureate certificate within the Center for Distance Education at the Athabasca University. Delivering courses that are responsive to teachers' needs and simultaneously intellectually developing and demanding is the intent of this professional development program. Each module will be a self-contained learning experience with specific combinations of 3 modules being eligible for credit at Athabasca University's Center for Distance Education. The modules will offer the opportunity to access leading research in online and blended learning, the ability to work with smaller courses that are responsive to K-12 teachers' needs and busy professional schedules, to enhance understanding of online and blended learning pedagogy through action research and teaching practice, to access quality professional development and graduate studies for a reduced cost, and to develop a collaborative community that supports ongoing learning. In the planning for this course redesign, we were able to incorporate the research of Garrison and Vaughn in their Strategies and Tools section in Blended Learning for Higher Education. In particular, because we were already working with existing Athabasca University courses, we were able to thoroughly examine those courses and look for concepts that we thought were still working or that maybe were no longer working for learners. We were able to update the course as well to have the most up-to-date and accurate information, and we were able to determine what would be most appropriate for this group of specific learners. Because we were designing this program for K-12 educators, we were able to adapt and remove some of the content that was not appropriate for that learning environment. The original Athabasca University courses had been written with a focus on both school-based learning and professional training environments, and we were able to take the focus and put it primarily into the K-12 setting. This redesign and reconceptualization allowed for us to discard what was no longer working and bring in some fresh new ideas and perspectives. In the process of breaking the Athabasca University courses into micro courses or modules, we were able to manage the content volume. So where we were able to take the existing course and select the pieces that were most appropriate for each module, we could design learning tasks and assessments that made the most sense from a pedagogical point of view, and we were able to look at content volume in terms of how much could be managed in a shorter period of time. Because the courses are shorter than the current Athabasca University course, an emphasis was placed on designing and experiencing professional learning rather than simply receiving PD online. And in order to honor the busy lives of teachers, the assignments for these bulk courses will also recognize the importance of choice. This is one way that we can manage content. We want to be responsive to the schedules that teachers have in terms of their needs. And we will be looking to the teachers for feedback on when and how they feel most able to commit to professional learning and graduate study work. Peak times for workload issues will be avoided whenever possible. Lastly, we want to create and maintain a vibrant learning community. We recognize that there will be some challenges in these short periods of time, as the bulk courses are 4-week offerings, to create trust and a community of inquiry, but we definitely intend to structure the courses in a way that will foster our learning community and allow the participants to take this community beyond the 4 weeks of the course and extend it into their professional lives. The next 3 slides will show how the existing Athabasca University courses are broken into 3 micro courses or module for the BOLT program. The first course is Online Teaching in Distance Education. It was offered as MDDE 621 at Athabasca University, and the content that was in that full course was around the principles and characteristics of learners, teaching behaviors associated with methods of delivery, the roles in which technology plays and in which learning at a distance may be experienced from a teacher's point of view, a facilitator's point of view, and an administrator's point of view. There's also a discussion of professional development and online teaching and characteristics of the emerging technologies that are available, as well as a discussion of assessment and evaluation. So this content is the whole content that was embedded in the 621 course, and we were able to look at it then in 3 specific chunks and ask ourselves what would be most appropriate to have in the first chunk, what would be most appropriate to have in the second chunk, and what would be most appropriate to have in the third chunk. And currently we are ready to offer BOLT 671, the first chunk, August 1st of 2015. The second chunk, BOLT 672, will be offered in October, and the third chunk will be offered in November. The goal is that combined, these 3 pieces will make up all of the content and learner objectives and learner outcomes of the original 621 course, but that they will be organized in a way that is meaningful for the learners in the K-12 setting. On this slide, we can see the beginnings of the process for converting the Athabasca University full courses into the 3 micro courses or modules for the BOLT program. You'll see on the left-hand side, we've identified the unit topics and learning objectives that were present in the Athabasca University course. And then on the right, you can see where we've broken up those topics into either BOLT 671, BOLT 672, or BOLT 673. Each of these micro courses or modules will be offered in a 4-week scheduled chunk. They will be cohorted, and there will be some synchronous opportunities for learning. What we've done is we've taken the time to reconceptualize and reconsider the design of the course and to determine which sections, topics, and objectives worked best together in the smaller modules or micro courses. Another major change that we have undertaken in the conversion of these courses is that the section on professional development has been renamed and redefined Professional Concerns, and it will be addressed ongoing in each of the bulk courses. So instead of only finding it in one of the micro or module offerings, we will be discussing the opportunities and challenges of professional learning together in a professional learning network, and the opportunities for professional development and learning online in each of the BOLT 671, 672, and 673 courses. This was probably the most challenging and the most exciting opportunity in this BOLT process so far, in that we really had the opportunity to look at the design and look at the content and manage those 2 pieces together in a way that we thought would be the most relevant to the learner and hopefully the most motivating for their own professional learning. Here we can see the beginning process for redesigning the learning experiences and the assessment approaches to the BOLT program. Although there were already assignments created in the original Athabasca University courses, we took great care and consideration as to what would be appropriate for K-12 educators and what would be found the most motivating and interesting to this group of learners who are a specific set. We did talk a great deal about how to refresh and enliven the courses with up-to-date and current material, to discuss emerging trends and emerging technology, and to consider the way that we live and work and learn with technology today. So this is just a sample of possible learning experiences and assessments that may be used throughout the BOLT offering. We are still working on the design process, and we will continue this process throughout to really examine how to assess learning and what experiences will lead to deep and rich understandings as a learning community. The model for delivery of the BOLT offering is a co-facilitation model where I will be working on behalf of the Alberta Distance Learning Centre as a curriculum liaison or lead teacher. As someone who has worked in a K-12 blended and online learning environment for many years, I will offer the perspective of a teacher who is applying practice to their current teaching. Dr. Constance Blomgren, the assistant professor for the Center of Distance Education at Athabasca University, will be the professor on record for these courses. So all assessment decisions will be hers. And together we are working through a co-design process where she brings her expertise from a post-secondary point of view, and I bring my knowledge of application in a current online and blended learning setting in K-12 education. Together, the hope is that the combination of these experiences will lead to a program that is relevant to K-12 educators and provides them with the just-in-time learning that they are looking for. The tools and strategies that will be applied will be asynchronous tools such as our Moodle LMS, synchronous web conferencing tools such as Adobe Connect for regular conferencing sessions, options for face-to-face cohorts at the beginning, the end, and as needed by the students throughout the course. Students will communicate with each other and their instructors through computer-mediated communication such as email, but most primarily through discussion boards, and assignments will be submitted electronically. The next Athabasca University course to be divided up is the MDDE 603, Foundations of Instructional Design and Learning Theory. This course focuses on perspectives on teaching, theories of learning, whether they be behaviorist, cognitive, or constructivist, roles and motivations in learning, the science and neuroscience behind learning, and a system analysis of learning online and at a distance. Again, this original full course will be broken into 3 micro courses or modules, both 674, 675, and 676. And when taken together in completion, they will be able to apply for a credit to the original Athabasca University course. The nice thing about this program is that if an applicant determines that they need BOLT 674 for their own professional learning, but they are not interested in 675 or 676, they can take that one module or micro course to fit their needs. If at a later date they determine that they would be interested in continuing on with the other 2 sections, they could do that to complete the full Athabasca University package and apply for advanced credit. The last course to be broken up into modules in the BOLT offering is the MDDE 620 Technology and Education course. Although the dividing of this course into BOLT 677, 678, and 679 is yet to be done, the content will address issues in distance education where technology is applied to delivery, the characteristics of communication technology and the opportunities thereof, strategic planning for models and application in the delivery of distance, online, and blended learning, and principles of effective management from the perspective of K-12 learning environments. An area with the greatest potential in this redesign project is that of the evaluation of the project and the research plan. Both Athabasca University and the Alberta Distance Learning Centre are very excited about the possibility to conduct iterative research throughout this process. Because we are offering the first 3 sections of the BOLT offering to a pilot group of students who are primarily working with the Alberta Distance Learning Centre, we will have great access to conduct pre- and post surveys, to examine achievement data, and to conduct in-depth interviews with the participants. We intend to take that information and to reflect upon it before we plan for the next iteration of the BOLT offering. This iterative process of research and refinement is something that we think is lacking often in both K-12 and online education. And with all the access to the digital tools that we will have in this course, we feel that there is great opportunity for research that can be conducted. As stated by Michael Barber in his study done in 2013, at the moment, one of the biggest challenges facing the growth of empirical knowledge into K-12 online distance learning is the lack of scholars focused in this area. Both Athabasca University and the Alberta Distance Learning Centre hope to conduct research that can be used for learning moving forward by various organizations. We find this to be a very exciting opportunity and something that this course redesign can offer learners in both online and blended learning. Lastly, we're looking at an implementation schedule that will begin this August of 2015, where we pilot the BOLT 671, 672, and 673 courses. At the same time, we will be designing 674, 675, and 676. Moving into January, we will offer, after we have studied the data and the research and the findings that come out of our pilot group, the official course. We intend to reflect on the data that is collected and make changes to the course as required to suit the needs of the learners. Then we will begin to pilot the next stage of the BOLT program as we're designing the third stage. Eventually, by the end of January 2016, we will be offering the last official course of BOLT 677, 678, and 679. The intention is for these courses to be ongoing and something that is offered by Athabasca University in conjunction with the Alberta Distance Learning Centre in a continuous model. The pilot will tell us a lot about what the learners feel and believe about this course offering and its design, and we look forward to the feedback we receive from them. We intend to do evaluation, research, and writing ongoing, and in fact, Athabasca University and the Alberta Distance Learning Centre are in the process of writing their first paper about this design process and presenting it at the Beijing Normal University Symposium that is happening in May of 2015. Thank you for listening to my course redesign project. If you have any questions, please email me at laurelbeaton@adlc.ca. I'd be happy to hear from you, and I hope you all have a great Easter.